G'day ladies and gents. I've got some little Jap quail that are hatching at the moment. There's 2 little ones in here and I've got another 5 out in the warm box. And in the corner there's one that's, you can see the hole facing towards the camera. He's slowly working his way out and has been for the last couple of hours. And there's a heap of empty eggs. There's some more here as well. So there's 7 out so far and another 1 coming out. 1 didn't make it. He was trying to get out most of yesterday and I checked him last night and realised he passed away. Upon checking the egg shell itself was really thick, like twice as thick as the rest of the eggs here. So I'd say he just got exhausted, poor little fella. What I'll do is I'll give these little fellas a little while longer and then I'll move them into the warm box and I'll show you the other ones that are in there as well. I did find a problem with this incubator. Now, down the sides there's a little tiny gap, and I mean a little tiny gap. This one here just got himself down the corner there and got his head slipped right up beside that screw hole. So I had to undo that and pull him out. So I might do some little adjustments on this and put a shade cloth layer over the top, and I'll make a little bit of a wooden mount or something that can slip down to take up that little bit of a space. If I hadn't come out here, he might have been in a little bit more trouble. It's lucky I'd just done something and then had a friend come over for a quick minute to drop off some equipment that they'd borrowed, and came back in and he was in there. So it happens very quick, and he was pretty well stuck. So I'll give these guys about another 2 hours, and then what I'll do is I'll move them into the warm box and I'll get some footage of all of these guys in there together. Alrighty ladies and gents, have a good one and I'll catch you later. G'day ladies and gents, just finishing off the video that I started earlier on. These are these little fellas in the warm box. There's 8 in here now and they all seem to be going well. That little one on the far side that's the wettest, that's one that's just hatched. I had to help him out. I used to be a firm believer in letting them get out of the eggs by themselves, but I lost one yesterday because the eggshell was too thick, and even with the humidity up high, he just couldn't get out. So after about 3 hours of that little fella there trying to get out, and he was worn out, he just expended all his energy. So I gave him a hand, and that's what I'll be doing from now on. After about 3 hours of the beak piercing the shell, if they haven't worked their way out by then, I'll give them a hand. You do it very, very slowly. Pick the shell, but leave the membrane intact. So you're just picking the shell off the outside, and then let them break through the membrane. And I don't leave them in the incubator for any more than a few hours after they've come out. It's too warm for them. I'll get them into here where it's down to 35. In the incubator, 37.5 is a good temp. At about 70% humidity. And then they'll come into here where it's 35 at the most. From 33 to 35, I usually keep my little ones. I'm using a rice hull kitty litter in the bottom. You don't want newspaper or plastic or anything like that, because they'll try to stand and run, and if they can't get grip, they'll just keep trying, and you'll either end up with dislocated legs, splayed legs, or just a chick that is worn out because it keeps trying and they can die. So give them something to grip on. Something that's not just smooth so that they can't grab a hold. The lady I got the eggs from had some trouble with the white ones. The two little white ones that are in here, they seem to be going really well. They were actually, of the first 3 eggs to hatch, the 2 little white ones were in amongst those first 3. Actually, those 3 that are together, 2 little white ones. So this one, and this one here were the first 3 out. The others, what is it? I think that little fella there and that fella there were last night, and then 3 wet ones are today's. And there's another 10 eggs there. So there's 8 in here total. And of the other 10 eggs, 1, I left him in there too long to get out of the egg by himself. And I think he must have just got worn out and he died. So that's why from now on I'm only giving him 3 hours from now on, and then I'll help him out. He ended up doing a bit of damage, and the egg was just too thick, and even with the humidity up high, it just didn't help. He just wore himself out trying to get out. Now, as for your water's got the scoria rock in there so that they won't fall in and drown. I've got food over in here, as well as the chick starter mix. I also get bird seed, and I crush it. So there's some of that in there. This stuff here, I'll be putting into the water. I lost 4 young ones about a month ago, and after they had passed away, even hours later, I was seeing their crops moving while I was trying to work out what had happened, and there was bugs in their crops. So just to stop any of those bugs being in their digestive system, I'm getting that, and what I will do is I will start to put that in the water as of tomorrow morning, so that I'll give this little fella a hand to get up. Where is he? Oh no, he's right. It's a bugger with this thing in my way, I can't see where the hand's going. So, yeah, just, I never needed this before when I've had quail, but I don't know whether it's just something that's, whether there's more bugs here or what, but yeah, little fellas that passed away, their crops were just absolutely full of little pests, so I'm not going to take that chance this time around. I'm going to use this. You only use this stuff here until they build up their immunity to different things. Once they're a bit older, you're right pretty much. It's just until they build up the immunity to the bugs. And that little wet fella is slowly drying off, and see the little tiny wings. Well, I'm going to close this back up so that the warmth is kept in here, and that'll be that. Alrighty, ladies and gents, have a good day. See you later.